Hi everybody, Jillian here for Illustrated Faith's Print and Pray shop, and I've got a new print and pray process video for you. Since the fall printables have been re-released in the Print and Pray shop, I thought it would be fun to take a look at some older pieces from years past and how we can mash them up with current pieces, new releases from the Print and Pray shop. So here I have a few sets from last October, November. This one is Thankful Thoughts from Brave Little Taylor, and then this set on the right is Taylor's latest release in the Print and Pray shop, Scripture School. So I was just showing you there how well the colors go together, since all of these sets are working from an autumnal color palette. Here's a beautiful leaf and butterfly outline from Shauna Klingerman that came out last year. I'll use a little bit of this one, as well as Brianna Showalter's Alphabet Gratitude Ephemera. So I'm going to get my pieces out like I normally do when I'm starting my process, and then I have the wide format traveler's notebook that I'm going to be journaling in today. So plenty of room for all of these beautiful fall pieces, new and old. If you're new to watching these sorts of videos from me on here, I like to use all of my ephemera first in my journal spreads. I start with the largest pieces and then work my way down the size scale, and then we'll add my journaling and then those finishing touches like little itty bitty flowers and things like that. Florals and leaves go so beautifully together, and you'll see how I use them together here, both printed on cardstock and sticker paper. I liked layering the sticker paper underneath the cardstock. It just made it look a little more interesting. So this entry is a little bit of scripture writing and then a little bit of a prayer response. So Taylor has these prompts in her set Thankful Thoughts that ask, who do you listen to, who do you believe, and who do you fear? And then she has a reference underneath each for us to go to. But before I get ahead of myself, I'm going to start by cutting out a wonky scallop from this piece of patterned paper, also from the Thankful Thoughts set. This is the patterned paper bundle. So if you missed out on it last fall, it's, like I mentioned, re-released back in the Illustrated Faith Print and Pray shop, and I'll have all of the pieces that I used today linked down in the video description below. So yeah, I just took a pair of scissors and cut a little scalloped border. I thought it would frame my journaling nicely, especially with that adorable owl up there, and I'm just going to cut that down, layer it underneath Brianna's leaf, and then keep moving on. One other thing that I do want to mention is if you go to shop the re-released fall printables and you're like, well man, I'm just not sure if I already have this one. There's a really cool feature on the Illustrated Faith website where if you're looking at a product and you are logged in, it will let you know if you've already purchased that set with that login. So super helpful so you don't get duplicates. Back to another piece of patterned paper here, just cutting out another scallop border, this time for the bottom. And I'll go ahead and stick that down with my tape runner, and then I think I might be ready to start writing after I add a little bit more washi tape from the Word Nerd devotional kit. Okay, here we go. So I'm just copying scripture. I'm just writing out scripture here, which is a really helpful practice I've found. And I'm just copying it from the Bible app in my phone because that's what was handy for me here. And then I had a little visitor who was asking what was what. And then he went and had a snack. Decided that snack time was more interesting. And then I'll go ahead and finish off my journaling here. And then just adding bits and pieces in as I have room. I definitely want to make sure that I have room for everything that I want to write, but then sometimes I just don't need as much room as I thought. So here I'm pointing out that I don't love that this big title, Jesus, is on the same plane, visual plane, as that gal over to the right, and then that title, Set Your Mind on Christ. And I think this is what we mean, this is what I mean at least, when we say, you know, Bible journal, but don't worry about the end product. Just go with the process. It's all about the process. So visually, I don't love that all of that stuff is kind of next to each other on the bottom, but I really wanted it there. It answered that question, and so I'm not worrying about the final product. That's just the piece that I wanted to use there in the moment. So anyway, take that for what it's worth. Now here I had written Colossians 3 verses 1 and 2 off to the right, and then as I was underlining it, I accidentally crossed it out, and I didn't want to leave it like that. So I took a little label, I cut it in half, and I'm just going to tape that down. I originally swapped out the first one that I chose because the floral was exactly the same as the one that's right next to it off to the right. So I ended up swapping it out there. I added a few more florals and a date stamp, and then off camera I'll go ahead and add some more prayer up here in the top. Oh, I do add a little bit more washi tape from the Word Nerd kit, and that is going to do it. So it's fall and I'm so excited, and I hope that this video has inspired you to pull out some of those printables that you maybe have left over from last year. Go ahead and print off a new sheet, even better, and see how you can mash them up with current printables that you are using in this season. I've got everything that I used linked down in the video description below. Like I mentioned, I'll leave you with some final photos here, and I'll see you guys soon.